sales meeting. Thanks, Phil. And good morning. It's
Good
October
morning.
25th, everybody. Happy to have you all here
Yes.
for another sales meeting 1 week before us, our spooky Halloween next week. So want to appreciate all of the affiliates for being here, all you agents for jumping on and spending some time with me. We got a nice action-packed sale content for today's sales meeting. We'll do a market update. We're going to do some upcoming training opportunities, and I'll show you some cool things from CAR, which is some new tools and widgets and calculators that are going to be helpful to help you be more informative and really show the comparative differences of what's called buyer's purchasing power and how that has dwindled when we see rises in the interest rates. So let's get the affiliates all ready to go. And I did see John and Scott first, and then we'll do Sandy right after that. John, why don't you start us off today?
Thank you, Kelvin. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Just want to give you a couple updates. A lot of the brokers and offices that I'm in are going over it. As far as the NHD aspect goes, there's going to be some changes. The NHD statement now will include it's going to be to identify fire hazard severity zones for defensible space and fire hardening. And what does that mean? It means now there's going to be 3 checkoffs that we will do. You won't have to do it. One of them is going to be the one we already have, is the very high fire severity zone based on CAL FIRE determination state. Then there's going to be another one, very high fire severity zone based on the local level. And then the next one is going to be a high fire severity determination based on state. So those 3 will be added to it. Another thing that's going to be added is the booklets are changing. They're adding 3 new chapters. The wildfire, and explaining what wildfire is, how to protect against it. What FHDS will probably be in there, and climate change, which is a big issue. And we have the mayor of Los Angeles over there in China talking about that right now. And then the other thing is sea level rise. So all those things are being added to it. Lastly, don't forget to order your NHD reports up front, Snap NHD. There's no charge unless it closes escrow. And we do have the free renter's report. And don't be a secret agent. Always wear your badges, have cards, pens, appropriate documents with you, because you never know where the next deal is coming from. Thank you, Kelvin, for allowing me to be on here. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, John. Thanks for the updates. Cool. So, Scott, you're up.
Hey everybody, Scott Shimamoto, Journey Mortgage Advisors. We are a broker. Brokers are better because we give your clients choices. The update today, I was in the economic update with Oscar Way, the economist for CAR, and I had to leave because they're doing it at the board over here at AAR, and but had to get on this. Anyway, so he was talking about bubbles because a lot of people are worried about buying right now. They think we're in a bubble. From a real estate perspective, and he showed a chart. There's only 2 cities that are in the bubble area, and I think it was Tokyo and Zurich, Switzerland. Los Angeles is not in a bubble right now. So if you have clients that are nervous about buying because they think we're in a bubble, or they think interest rates are high, these are all myths. We're not in a bubble. And for the buyers, the interest rate being high is the best thing that could ever happen to them, because we don't expect rates to stay this high. And so the people can obviously refinance out of it later when interest rates come back down. And, since interest rates are higher right now, it's kind of holding prices down a little bit. I know they're going up still, but they could be going up way more if interest rates were lower. So right now is the time to buy. I'd love to help you pre-approve your buyers. You need a good not a good pre-approval. You need a great pre-approval right now, and you need a guy that can show the listing side that the client is really, really strong in case they get cross-qualified. It's really, really important. And I do a real thorough job on the pre-approval, and if I get cross-qualified, I have everything. I got it down to the freaking driver's license not being expired. So I'd love to help you guys. with that, and thanks again, Kelvin, for letting us participate in these meetings.
You're welcome. Thank you, Scott. All right, well, you got Sandy coming up next, and then I'll do right after that. Oh, go ahead, Sandy. You can go first.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I just want to remind you guys that the very best time to get a home warranty is when you're going through escrow, because then it's effective the day escrow closes. It's seamless. Everything's wonderful. But if for some reason it's not part of the transaction, which horrifies me, quite frankly, but if it's not, you have 60 days after the close of escrow that you can still get the warranty at the same price. Okay. But if you're 60 days out from escrow, I just had a homeowner who decided he didn't want one, and he's 90 days out, and he called me yesterday. He's like, I might need a home warranty. Yes, you might, in fact, need a home warranty. I can still get you one. It might cost you a couple bucks more than I do for the real estate price, which is our lowest and our best price. You might pay another $30 more, but it's still doable. It's never a bad time to get a home warranty. There's a better time, but there's never a bad time. If your clients didn't get one for whatever reason, and then you're following up and you're talking to them, and they start talking about things that might pique your interest, like, gosh, love the house, but notice that all of a sudden they've already spent significant amounts of money on repairs. Maybe that home warranty that they passed up, they saved 600, now they've spent $2,000 on something. Maybe it's time to think about a home warranty. We have monthly payments. You might not be able to afford $800 right now, but you can probably afford $55 a month. Okay, so that's something else you can share with your clients, bring value to your conversations, even after the close of escrow, especially if a home warranty wasn't part of your transaction. I'll put my info into chat. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right, thanks, Sandy. And looks like we got Martin Mesa next with Rate One Financial. Martin.
Good morning. How you doing, everybody? Hopefully you can hear me okay. Yeah, so regarding Kelvin's comment about affordability related to borrowing costs, yeah, the bad news is, rates are a little higher now than they were in September of 2021, which is kind of like the low point, well, early 2021. I just sent in the chat a little affordability chart that shows you how much of a drop in purchasing power a borrower can experience compared to when rates were, in the mid to high 2% range back in fall of 2021. Right now we're close to 8%. So yeah, it's about a 45% drop in purchasing power when you compare the rates back then to like an 8% rate right now. So that's the bad news. People can't, obviously qualify for as much of a loan as they could back then. That's a reality. But, what I tell people nowadays is, rates are higher. Yeah, it costs more to borrow, but it still makes sense to buy. It still makes sense to buy even at these, if you have to borrow money at these rates, it still makes more sense to own than to rent. No matter how you look at it, almost over time, always makes more sense to buy. If you can afford the payment, it makes sense to buy. So if you can afford the payment, even if it means you got to change your standard of living, maybe adjust your budget, I'm still advising people to buy if they can and all make it happen, even if they have to borrow at these higher rates. And just like Scott said, when rates go down, we don't know when, maybe next year, but they will eventually go down. You refinance, you capture that lower rate, capture that payment, and you're just in a better off position, and you'll be very glad you bought when you did. So anyway, my name is Martin Mesa with Rate One Financial, mortgage banker. Have a good day.
Great. Thanks for joining us today, Martin, and appreciate, those tips. These are helpful talking points that we need to talk to our consumers, because they are asking these exact questions. Is it a good time to buy or not? What are the pros and what are the cons? And if you can afford it, yes, it's always good for rent, better than renting. It's always, you're still building your own equity. Yes, you can always refinance later. These are all rebuttals that are true. We can always hopefully find a good deal in a market like this where people are fearful of high rates and the payment. I agree. Yes, it's temporarily high for this, who knows, for the next 8 months. But you do have the ability, when everyone's not shopping and they're out doing their Christmas shopping and planning their next holiday parties, You could be out there looking for values and deals, find things under market, find things that are sitting on the market, find things that are a good property that people just aren't looking at it because they're just basically not looking right now. So when that demand is gone and you see a lot of a lot of listings that are potential matches, write an offer, go show it. Doesn't have to be the asking price. You send that offer, because just yesterday one of our realtors got $200,000 under the asking price. Okay, that's a great buy. Okay, and they just refinance that property a year from now or 2 years, whenever they're ready. You will find the greatest what's called values under asking in the luxury market. So that won't happen on a $500,000 home. Okay, but you can still maybe get a $450,000 acceptance on a $500,000 home, and that's a 10% decrease. Go for it, chase that. Who cares if your rate is 8% if you got a 10% decrease on the purchase price? So those are things to ponder and think about, and ways to explain to a borrower or buyer. Don't be afraid, because when people are like the stocks, when the most people are afraid, that is actually the best opportunity. So we have a great opportunity window for the next 6 to 8 months as we are in this, slow lock-in effect of what's going on, where sellers are locked into their properties, buyers are kind of locked into where they're renting and staying put. So that's really why we have that low inventory, and that's what we're dealing with, and that's our market. We need to adapt to our market. All right, so let's get into our meeting slides. Any other comments from anyone? Okay. I have to download it. I thought I downloaded it already. Okay, we got the download going on right now. Thanks for your patience. It's coming up. Okay. Wow, we are 1 week away from Halloween already. Who's got a nice little who's got their costumes already planned out with your family and your kids? We got thank you for affiliates for being here with us and sharing your news and updates and announcements. Today's quote from the day, I thought since we had a little of a theme on the Halloween, I thought this was cute. What is the true nightmare? The horrific dream that you have in your sleep, or the dissatisfied reality that awaits you when you awake? And if you look at yourself in the mirror, and if you're actually on the latter side, that you find that you're not satisfied with your own reality that you're living and that you're creating, and that's your day-to-day activities and your lifestyle and your work and wherever you are at in your life, we all have that control. We have the decisions and the choices that you need to make. What can I do to change my reality? What can I do to improve my lifestyle, my financial freedom? What steps and activities may I really work on to find my next transaction, to find another lead? And I really want to just kind of highlight that, we have nightmares in our sleep, or if you're having, some fears, or, as we all get into this slower seasonality of the holiday season, I really want you to hopefully have a little really just some positivity that you're going to be spreading around. Hopefully you're out there going out there and making connections, networking, talking to others, and really giving them some hope, giving them the optimistic side of things. Because like I said, right now, we all think, oh, right, rates are rising and everything is going bad. Oh, our global economy could be at war and there's all these things going on in other countries. But in our own lives, in our very small little bubble that we're in, we have big things and impacts and memories to create and families to take care of and relationships to really just bridge back together. COVID has done so much to all of us and all of our friendships and the way we do our business and the way we do the way we hang out with one another now. This different reality is something that we need to really just recreate, adapt to our new situations. And I really hope you take that to heart in everything and every little small things that you do. Okay. So we got our next upcoming schedule, so you can register and join us for the next every bi-weekly training / sales meetings. These are the calendars, affiliates and agents. Appreciate you all being here and continuing to finish 2023 strong. Tomorrow, we got 12:30 Lunch and Learn. Then we got Jared. This is a new one for us, Optimum Seismic. And if you've sold any property in Los Angeles, we all know that there's a City of LA 9A report that is required and mandatory to report on structures and safety and just basically double checking it. Every property has the code in components of what's inside. What is that? It's not simply just a water heater strapping or a smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector, but for properties in Los Angeles, they have additional duties of property safety, and things got to be retrofitted, and that kind of thing is like low flow water conserving plumbing devices, such as certain toilets that do 0.6 liters per flush, or gallons per flush, I'm sorry. And then we have shower heads as well. Stuff like that are also checked for, and people can adapt and put in and install these retrofits to their properties to be in compliance with the city laws. So he's going to teach us a little bit about, Jared's going to teach us a lot of the cool things that they do, ways that they could do their job well and service our clients for their Los Angeles properties. In addition to that is unreinforced masonry. So if you look at a lot of buildings and you look at the way its foundation is built, some people are on a slab, some properties are unreinforced, what you call with a crawl space, where these foundations are raised and these wood beams and footings are not the exact, having all the exact needed required thickness, or they do not have the retrofit components of extra little support beams. So what they'll do is go out there, inspect it, install some additional supports to make sure this building doesn't collapse, like we've seen many buildings in other countries fall down, just like that. So learn about Jared and the retrofit process. So you can join us tomorrow, and it's live. So again, I repeat to you, the purpose of our Lunch and Learns is to have you in attendance. We're trying to bring people back together in the office, have a nice environment for you to come and join lunch and learn. And what better time? So it's live. If we have other online and in-person trainings up here with the Arcadia board, so they'll have cool stuff. They have the Supra training. They have a global market forecast. We all heard about the training this morning that some of you were at the board. Oscar Way is a great economist, and if you happen to miss it this morning, do not worry. I also am an economist by nature and by trade in my studies. I'll give you the market update because I already got the slides from Oscar and Jordan Levine. And tomorrow we also have a little 10 o'clock meeting with local managers, and you could speak to various forums of cities that are participating, such as Arcadia. We have Jason Kruckberg, Brian Cook, who's a Temple City manager, and Dylan Fake in Monrovia, and Jason Golding. I remember I attended this a couple of years ago. These managers talk about the projects that are going on in their cities, the type of construction, the type of concerns and issues regarding anything that's regarding their cities. We talked about homelessness. We can talk about new big companies coming in and gain the insight of what's going on in your local region by coming to this cool training. This is actually very rare to have. So I encourage you to learn because these are our actual local cities. So we got other Coldwell Banker trainings coming up, and I wanted to let you know there is a calendar of October Moxie Works. So if you want to just click this link, you can always get in there, log into your CB University to see all this calendar events of live classes and live trainers. And they're also, have a whole series of classes with AMP. So I encourage you to explore this stuff. This is really cool. Proprietary education classes that only the Coldwell Banker agents in the system can access. So we got Coldwell Banker doing their national campaign, and they're using Thursday Night Football as their forum, along with many other like HGTV and various other shows. But Thursday Night Football definitely gets a crowd. So this is their schedule, and you are, if you're watching it, happen to be at a home or you're at the bar, you can look forward to our Coldwell Banker campaigns and say, hey, I work with Coldwell Banker. Those are our ads, and talk about real estate while you're there at the bar. So you can hopefully gain yourself some lead and have a nice conversation, which hopefully could lead to another connection in your next transaction if you really make it your effort to engage with others. I want to remind you, there is a nice new program of referral rewards with Coldwell Banker, where we can generate passive revenue streams to you, Coldwell Banker agents, directly. So all you got to do is refer any agent to myself or our managers. Hopefully we can get them to join our firm. And if they join Coldwell Banker, you have the ability to earn on their future potential transactions and receive a RESPA. It is not a violation. It's not a transaction. It's not a DRE. This is a straight payment to you based on their transactions and their closings. And they do not necessarily need to join Coldwell Banker Dynasty. So if you have someone that you know, maybe it's your son-in-law and they're joining hopefully a Texas Coldwell Banker office, all you got to do is just say, hey, nephew, go ahead and check out Coldwell Banker in Texas. I'll refer you to a manager over there, talk with them, see if you like it. And if you do, you still get this bonus referral rewards anywhere nationwide wherever there's a Coldwell Banker brand. So that agent just fills out a simple, it's in your desk, site CB desk. You can just fill out a simple link with their email and their name and their contact number, and it'll get referred over to someone else in the appropriate division in what's called recruiting and talent attraction, and we'll take it from there. The class of the month for October was owning objections and really not just handling it, not just dodging an objection. No, we want to own it. We want to be able to say, Kelvin, the rates are 8% right now. Tell me why should I buy right now? And you don't want to just give them all the fluff that they read in the news and just say all these generic statements. You want to be able to have the right appropriate response. And my response is always, it depends. Because everything depends on their own unique situations. It's not a good time to buy if you don't have the resources or you can't afford the payment. No, I don't. But if you have the means, if you're willing to sacrifice, if you're willing to do pull up your sleeves and find a fixer-upper, we can find some great values. So it all depends on what you are preparing the client for. And I hope you don't scare them away. I hope you really just give them a great consultation and give them a plan. a detailed plan, a timeline, some working goals. Like, I need you to work on your credit right now. I saw it was on the 580s. I want you to get you 620, 640s by 3 months. Okay, then we'll be able to have more purchasing power. And if you don't know what I mean, buyer, let me explain this to you, and I'll show you what I mean. So there is a recap of the Gen Blue. They do have all this cool stuff that just happened at our national convention. So it's all in our MyCB desk area if you want to read the recap of what happened at Gen Blue, but I'll share a little bit about that in a little bit later. We have Sylvia Ramos today is at a meeting. So she is participating with one of the committees that she's on. So she can't be here physically in person, but she still wants to share her thoughts and her slides and compassion about a little bit about some positivity and spreading in that little things worth smiling about. And don't forget to smile every day. Slow down sometimes. Be in the present. If you're at a dinner, don't just be working on your phone. You know, there's a person in front of you or next to you. Talk with them. Slow down. Engage. Have a healthy topic and conversation, and enjoy each other's company. Enjoy that smell of coffee in the morning and little nature walks and hikes. As we approach the fall season, there's a lot of cool things, and as you can see, these are very fall, autumn, really just cool little things that the season changes bring on some nice little fun and small little things as we enjoy, hopefully, a healthier lifestyle. So don't wait till January 1st to become healthy. You don't need to wait for a goal day, setting day to become and start something. You can start making changes in your lifestyle today. So these are some simple rules for a healthier lifestyle, like drinking less soda and more water, eat more fruits and less sweets and candies, less alcohol, drink more tea and something more hopefully healthier, less junk food and more veggies, drive less and do some more walking, less anger, more laughter, less worry, more sleep, and less words, more action. Who can kind of really relate to that? I do need 2 or 3 of these things to make some changes in my life. Okay, so let's try to make some of these reminders and make them not just words. Make these part of reality. Make these part of your life in improving in terms of your health and the way you feel. Because if you sleep earlier and you get up earlier and you have a healthy rest, you will feel a lot more energized. You'll be able to engage, because a lot of times, many of us let this little lazy devil tell us that, you give us excuses, give us reasons why we don't need to work today, or why we can take some time off and watch some TV. There's if you really just waste your time and waste your days, you're losing precious moments and time that is something that you can't remember take back. So I hope you spend your time wisely. We talked about the car purchasing power calculator, but I want to share with you what it looks like and what that does to all of the buyers out there, whether you're in LA County or in San Mateo County. This is a California purchasing power tool. And there's many other cool tools at CAR's website. So you can make simple changes, such as, I want to put a 10% down payment or 20% down payment. I want a modest monthly payment of 35% of my average household income. Or I'm willing to, do a low risk averse type of person, might only want 30% of their income to go towards their payment. So the way this works, and I'll get to the website so I can show it to you directly, is pretty interactive and simple. Let me go into the CAR's website. And actually, let me go into this little field here, because I want to remember that under market data, interactive market stats, you'll find these shareable reports. And these are cool because if you take a look at what I have a bunch of clients, I haven't emailed them in a long time. I want to put together a newsletter this fall. I want to write an article and share it on my social media, whatever it is. But I don't know I don't have the content. I'm not a good writer. The solution to you is to use some of these guides and rewrite. These are all pre-written, and all you got to do is slap it into your own marketing, and you'll be able to share it, because these are all tools, resources for us to use. So there's a market overview, there's buyer's guides, seller's guides, county updates. If you want to look at these one-page county updates of what's going up and what's going down, median prices and all that stuff. Market reports locally, housing supply. So I'm looking at the purchasing power calculator, but I also use the tax portability calculator because I want to educate seniors about using their property tax basis to transfer to another California property. And I like this portability to explain to them visually, not just with words, but with real examples, that your $1 million home seller, if we just take that tax basis of $450,000 because you owned this for 20 years, watch, we can buy the $700,000 property all the way over here. It's a beautiful area in whatever, Rancho Cucamonga, and you can still have and take this $450,000 basis over to your next property, still save and downsize on that property, and just really finally move from this old property that I know you don't you want to part ways with. Okay, this is how you educate and consult with clients, not just words, but give them some scenarios, because hopefully you are all well versed on how to consult a client on their unique situations. And if you're not, you need to spend more time in training with me. So this purchasing power calculator is a great way to compare their scenarios and what has happened based on rate changes. Okay. So let's say we're buying in Los Angeles County. All right. And the annual household income, 120,000 is right now is what it defaults to, but you can write any number in. Let's say they're at a 130,000 combined income from their family of whatever, 3. They plan to put 20% down. So if they're trying to buy with a low desired monthly payment, they can afford something around $502,000. But if they're willing to spend roughly 40% of their income of 130, then they can afford up to almost $670,000 purchasing condo, townhouse, or maybe some single families in certain cities. See how drastic that changes. If you do and allow a 30% payment, you can only afford a $500,000 property. But if you're willing to, a buyer's willing to take some sacrifices, and they'll spend more on their house and spend less on their entertainment and on discretionary income. If they're willing to save for a good 8 to 12 months, and as long and what, because they want to live in a greater home, because they want to live in a 670 home versus a $500,000 home, I think this is a very great choice to illustrate. Yes, they'll need about $133,000 in down payment. This will be their monthly payment, which they can afford at 40% of their income. And you can also kind of just, really just show them all this differences, because this is based off a 7% rate. Now, we just recently heard we're approaching 8%. I want to even give and use this tool to show a comparative illustration that people in the 7s who thought they were buying high, look what this happens to someone who's going to get something at 8% with the exact same income, exact same payment of desired down payment and monthly payment 40%. Look what happens. That's $670 thousand property. Now they can only afford $617. So and look at their monthly payment. So at 7%, they were able to have the same payment, but the $670,000 home. Now at 8%, that same payment only buys them a $617,000 home. Okay, so that's crazy. But look at all the people that we helped in 2020, 21, 2022, and before. We've helped so many people lock in rates under 4%, under 3.5%. That same household who happened to time it okay, they were able to buy an $872,000 house with that same payment. So we went from 673 to 872 by a simple few points. Okay, so just to give you an illustration, so I like that, and you can use this how you want to. Just wanted to show you where it's at. Any questions? Okay, so the market update from CAR tells us mortgage rates are continuing to climb upwards. We are approaching very near 8%, and it hit it several times last week. The bond market is continuing to be priced in higher for longer, and these are all important things to track because these are our indicators. And as an economist, I'm letting you know that the labor statistics are still okay. There's slightly an uptick in unemployment, and buyer demand has dwindled down a bit because rates continue to climb, and inventory still is very, very low. I won't go into the market minute this time because I'm going to go into detail with this latest slides. Here's the California Economic and Housing Market Update slides. So let me click into there, make sure you guys can see it. Hopefully you can see my screen. I'm going to make sure I'll stop it and start it again. All right. So this is just prepared just last week, 5 days ago. So this is very, very recent and fresh. All right. So Straub job growth. We see 336,000 job growths, but it is on a downward trajectory, as you can see from the past year. And it's not as strong as we think, as the numbers illustrate here. Our numbers are really just this California growth and total employment growth. When you base it off of the various factors of QCEW, I don't have the exact acronym, but qualified jobs, I would say, what they're truly tracking, kind of shows to us a downward trajectory. So the Fed still thinks jobs are growing too much. And so that's why they placed their dot plat map right here to show that they believe that there's, the economy is okay. And then, this is really what they kind of think in the long run, where they think rates should or want to be. And in the near term, this is what we're finding in the most recent September dot chart from June to September. We can see this quarter-to-quarter analysis. A lot more of the Fed is above this bubble of 5% for the federal funds target rate. Okay, so they want to keep it elevated for a longer period of time. The last mile on inflation is toughest, and the rates are down slowly, is what they're saying, on the core CPI year-over-year growth. We're seeing the bond market really getting a lot higher. The Fed funds target is around 5.5%. We are less inverted now as the bond market wakes up. So good, because we did have an inversion of the yield curve, which typically and more often than not does lead to a recessionary period in America. But right now, we've had this whole year of being in the inverted bond market, and it appears to be being managed okay. This is bad news though for mortgage rates. So as the Fed funds target rate increases, it also does lead to higher mortgage rates. It's debatable. So we are seeing purchasing power. We just talked about this and how that impacts people's income and what they desire for their monthly payment. And we're noticing that a lot of borrowing purchasing power has been lost in the last couple of years with rates soaring. Okay, so those are just illustrations of what happens when things are at 8% and what things happens are 6%, 7%. But the buyer demand, this is a true illustration how demand has really dwindled with higher rates. But these are not excuses. This is the data. And as we see the sales continuing downward trend, and we can see our volume is roughly a third of our volume is gone just based on all of the stuff that the Fed is doing with the higher rates. So California sales is definitely hurt. We're down 20%, 21.5% year over year. And that's a significant decline in sales. Biggest reason for slower growth is the top end of the market, where a lot of the top end luxury homes, these are, you're seeing a lot of there's been some growth in these areas, but properties under the 300,000, there's very far and few of them. These are definitely contributing a lot less. So when we can see the year differences, this is 2021, things were appreciating. And as you can see down here in 2023, we're seeing a lot of sales slowing down, and we're at 28% here in the most recent year. Much less $10 million properties are on sale. So when you look at single family sales over 1 million, you can see kind of the luxury market as of 2023. There's not too much high-end luxury sales going on. People are locked into the properties. They don't want to capitalize on their low tax basis, and people are kind of just staying put. This is an illustration by interest rates, and I think it's important to note how many people are over 6% plus. Well, that represents roughly 7.1% of the population are at a high interest rate environment. The vast majority of the people have something between 3 and 4% mortgages. These people are locked in. Under 3%, yep, they're locked in too. They ain't going to do anything. They're going to keep their property. They're going to keep their mortgage. They're happy with where they're at. So that really relieves 68% of the people are very happy where they're at. And this is probably the greatest opportunity for your next transaction. People who are up here are maybe trying to escape their high payment. Active listings are struggling, so there is a lock-in effect that I've already talked to you about. So, but the median home prices, these are still trending up every year over year. Okay, but don't let these stats fool you. Median home prices are always going to go up because that's the middle sale, and obviously people who sell this year versus 5 years ago, yes, it's on an upward trajectory because assets do continue to appreciate and climb even if we're in a recessionary period. Sellers need to know that demand is catching up. There is some increases in the mortgage applications, but at the same time, these are the days on market for closed sales, and it's healthy. Things are closing roughly 19 days on market on average. How many properties need to reduce the price? Well, in 2022 and 2021, not much. They had a lot of properties sell over asking, but as of 2023, we are seeing a lot, 40 to 35% of the listings are needing to reduce their price right now and make adjustments. How many are closing over asking? 44%. Okay, less than half. The benefits of homeownership is well documented. So in California, yes, we have a lot of tax write-offs. We have a lot of significant benefits of homeownership, such as capital gains, appreciation, stuff that we can give, and all that cool stuff. $200,000, $250 for a single individual, $500 for a married couple. You can do a lot of cool stuff with this stuff. So an owner who lives, these are the benefits of and comparison. Well, homeowners, they have $396 worth of net worth per capita versus a renter will only have 10.4 types of benefit. Illustration purpose, that's a 39% increase over a renter. So you definitely want to be realizing the benefits of homeownership and not hopefully we're renting forever. But unless, every situation is different. There's reasons to rent. Yes, I get it. By age group, you can kind of break down the number of households owned by them. And obviously under 21, under 25, that's 21% of our population own a house under 25, 1/5. Half the people of the households, which is the biggest target that we should be focusing on, the seniors, 65 plus, they have the greatest equity, they have the largest homes, and they represent the majority of homeowners. So let's start learning how to work with seniors. Let's start helping them downsize and empty nesters, hopefully, and as they adapt to their new retirement income, and hopefully they can get a great consultation from you why it makes sense to take their tax basis to somewhere else. So that's the slides from Jordan Levine. It's also nice and worthy to know and talk about some of the new laws on 2024. I'm going to really go over Gov. Hutchinson's recent new changes, and then we'll get into the new listings. Okay, what are the 2024 new laws that are signed into requirement that pertain to real estate? All mandatory fees must be disclosed in advertising goods and services, SB 478. So if you say you're going to advertise free CMA, or you're going to do this, but you bait and switch advertising, saying, but I have to charge you for whatever reason, $30 for a credit report, then that's not technically free. That's false advertising. So when you advertise something, it must be in good faith. Disclose if there is any fees or charges that will be incurred to complete whatever advertising that you put out there. Okay, so this is for goods and it applies to services, and that's a good thing. This applies to even restaurants and retail stores and this and that. So just make sure whatever advertising you're doing, you live up to your words. Senate Bill 33, commercial financing. So disclosures, they just got to disclose the cost of a commercial financing transaction as an annualized rate. The APR number that we always see, like the cars do, because some commercial financing is trickier. It can have escalation clauses. You can have transactions in commercial financing in which it's points are built in, or the advertised rate is only a teaser rate for the first 2 years, and it continues to climb up later on. There's stuff like that they must be disclosed. The environmental hazard booklet update has been updated, and now they are including resources with 3 chapters dedicated to wildfires, climate change, and the sea level rise. We heard John Wax share that with us. And finally, our booklet is now being updated because it was last update was 2005, 18 years ago. Disclosures. Flippers must disclose recent repairs and renovations. So if you are a flipper, you know a client that's a flipper, educate them. You have to let them know what recent repairs and renovations were performed if they resell it within 18 months of their last purchase. This only applies to 1 to 4 units. If you have a 5+ commercial apartment building, no, you don't need to do this type of recent repair renovations disclosure. But what is it is, if you're going to do any room additions, you got to disclose any structural modifications, like getting your property retrofitted, like I already told you about. That's a nice disclosure. Other alterations, such as taking down a wall, or you altered the laundry to be located from the garage to a closet. Repairs, obviously anything a repair should be disclosed, and a copy of any permits obtained. So this is great. I like that. I want to see this kind of transparency of what was done to a property. I think it's a good thing for the consumer. Just letting you know, it's signed into law. Okay. So how does that impact our business? Now this gets us to ask our clients, you need to be detailed on what you've repaired, and, you know, not just replace the flooring and painted the property. It comes down to simple things like change the door, change some handles, replace the kitchen cabinets with brand new. To me, a flipper is trying to maximize their resale value. My answer to them when they say, I don't want to share this, I never had to do this in the past, I'll tell you, well, the laws change. And look, you made a brand new, beautiful, new home. Why? Tell me why I shouldn't brag about it. Why? Oh, because you didn't do any permits? Then we have to disclose that you didn't get a permit for that. That's required. Okay. So we have to tell them what's been done. And honestly, if they didn't get the permit, it's better to disclose it anyways, so it becomes transparent to the buyer. NHD statements needs to expand language on the high and very high fire zones. We spend too much time on that, and we have way too many trainings, but just letting you know. Employment. Your workplace violence prevention plan is now required. So employees and places of employment, we simply just have to have some safety in our workplace, and establish and maintain some protocols. So you could read about that documentation and have some training and records for brokers' responsibility. That's for me to read up. ADUs may be sold separately from a primary unit as a condominium. This is a big one, guys. This is actually now, let's just say I have a property over here in San Gabriel, and I built an ADU approved, permitted, and I have a single family in the front. If I am a empty nester, or I decided my situation changed and I no longer need an ADU for myself, I rather have some income, or I rather have some money in my pocket bank account to pay off and invest in something or start a new business, AB 1033 allows me, as long as the property permits and there's a layout situated, allows it, I can sell my ADU, keep my main single family front house, as long as there's like a, you know, maybe in this, I'll sign over and allow ingress and egress of my driveway for that rear ADU to become now its own property, because it has its own separate meters. And this could be a condominium style. Maybe there's some recorded CC&Rs, because obviously we might be sharing the same sewer connection. But I'll tell you, there's more to that as well. As long as, but it allows me to bifurcate and split this property as a R1 property, sell out my back as a condo, and have some money in my pocket. So if you have situations like that, it can be accomplished. Not easy, but it could be done. But as more and more people start doing it, then there'll be some more simpler, you know, standards. There's more to this. There's a lot of great laws. I don't actually have time to review everything, but this is regarding ADUs and making permanent prohibition on local governments' restrictions. and other stuff like that. So if you are like me, when you want to nerd out on the new laws on 2024, all you got to do is go over to the 2024 new laws and search for it up here. You'll find this chart written by our car attorneys. Now, let's get into our sales meeting and wrap it up with our. Oh, I really just wanted to make sure you had a link to the Tenant Protection Act of 2019. There's some really important information where I do not want you agents being too involved in evicting or serving notices to tenants. There are many people who are really taking a large amount of risks when they represent a landlord and try to help them. I'll help you communicate and get this evicted, or I'll help you communicate and work out and negotiate a tenant to leave immediately. The problem is you're really acting in representing yourself to be a property manager. You're representing yourself to be added into a complaint if you don't come to an agreement and this tenant decides to hire an attorney. And guess what? You're in a situation that you're basically now involved yourself and implicated yourself to be a property manager that will have to respond in court to the allegations of the tenant. And guess what? These tenants are coached by their attorney to write very strong accusations and allegations such as fraud, a wrongful eviction, discrimination, inappropriate conduct and behavior, violation of trespassing, infringement of their privacy, stuff like that that you're not even aware of. But I'm telling you, I read these stuff because it scares me. So I really don't like to. I'm just here to tell you about it. Okay, new listings. Any questions? All right, so we have some new listings to promote. Joseph Fung has an Irvine, gorgeous little property over here, 75 Visionary in Irvine. It's a 4-bed, almost 2,000 square feet at 1.55 million. Congrats, Joseph, on your new listing, and Angel Lau's beautiful new listing at 800,000. This single family is almost 22,000 square feet, 4 beds, 3228 Willow Creek Road. Great job, Angel, on her listings. We have 1200 Walnut Grove in Rosemead, Unit E. 1 bedroom, 1 bath condo is 2,000 per month. Looks nice and maintained inside with newer cabinets. Proud of Jerry and Connie. They've been working hard and are on fire. Got a Glendale single family brand new listing at 2887 Graceland Way. It's 1.7 million for this lovely estate. And congrats to Angel Lau. She's got a nice townhouse over here in Glendale, 117 West Chestnut, Unit 101. This is a lease listing. And 7770 Youngdale Way in Stanton. Sylvia Ramos, she's got a 1,000 square foot condo at 575,000. And Amy and Philip. I do see Amy here. I don't know if you want to pitch or share anything about your new listing. Congratulations on 2904 Cogswell Road, unit number 8, El Monte. This condominium is an affordable 568,000. Sally Wu has a rental. This is 3,500 per month, single family in Fontana. 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 7460 Suffolk Place. Coming soon. If you were like me last week, I supported and visited Henry Liu's nice, gorgeous, beautiful lunch caravan. He did the broker caravan for this town community, and he has the entire 10 units for sale or potentially some of them for lease. It's 1228 Temple City, great location nearby the offices, and it's only 1.329 for this townhouse. If you don't want a certain floor plan, you have many to choose from. So check out this 2023 new construction, brand new listing. We got some closers to celebrate. Angel got this San Marino, beautiful single family, sold for 2.565 million on Lorraine Road, San Marino. She also just closed 609 Colorado Boulevard in Monrovia. This duplex sold for 940,000. And Joseph just closed 10535 Bisbee Street, El Monte. 730,000 for this single family. Winnie Bai got this one leased out, 9420 Duarte Road, 700 square foot single family. And this single family in Fontana just closed. This is 6198 Goldendale Way, Fontana. Great job, Jagjit Singh Reen. Proud of you. And you got 2902 Tree Fern Drive in Duarte. This beautiful single family sold quickly. Great job, Christelle. She worked above and beyond for her client. Excited for her sale. This was her first listing, and she did a great job in getting it done. 228 Olive Ave, Unit A, 110. This is an Alhambra rental and got leased out. Sylvia Ramos got this nice single family sold at 500,000 in San Bernardino. Very cool. Julia helped leased out 1228 Temple City, where we were at last week with Henry. So one of those units just got leased out, Unit D. Julia also leased out in West Covina, 2209 Calle Jalapa. And Kathleen Vong of 2827 Edinger Avenue in Santa Ana. Lovely condominium sold at $700,000. Good job, Kathleen. Very proud of you. And Amy, she also leased out this nice Arcadia single family. This 6,500 per month. Good job on Magnolia Court. That's a nice rental. We got 925,000. This lovely home was sold by Pat Attree, 2591 Starcrest Drive in Duarte. Very proud to see her success. So she's got that one sold, and Doreen got this 4441 Walnut Grove Ave Rosemead condominium leased out for 3,500 per month, $2 a square foot. And I think that's pretty much most of all the closings and new listings. Anyone have anything coming soon or needs and wants? Let me check the chat messages. Okay, nothing from you guys. No questions. Thank you all for being here and staying to the very end. Have a safe, happy Halloween. Make sure you're out there, going out there and celebrating, having fun with your family. Give out some candies to the kids. Enjoy, guys.
Thank you, Kelvin. Great information. And have a wonderful Halloween with your little one. It'll be nice taking him around.
Awesome.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Will do.
Bye, all.
My son's going to be Spider-Man this year.
Oh, that'll be awesome.